It's a new season, a new feel, a new happiness, a new sense of optimism, a new joy. Welcome to the new year. Happy New Year, everyone. Wow, it's so happy to come your way. It's the very first edition of HotSports in the year 2019. I am beaming with smiles. I'm sure you are very happy to watch me and, of course, watch the HotSports show as well as us as well, knowing fully well that you are there with us yet again. You were there in 2018, so it gives us a good feeling to come your way with the very first edition of the 2019 edition of HotSports. Wow, guys, it's good to be here in the studio. I'm with my guys. I never changed my team. The squad is still remaining the same from 2018 up until 2019. The gentlemen are happy. So am I. Happy New Year, my brother. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
Happy New
You want
Year,
to pass the handshake?
Happy New Year.
2019,
wow,
you know.
feels so good.
It is.
Like,
It
there's
does
so much
feel good.
optimism today. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's so happy. Like, we thank God for life.
Absolutely,
right now,
absolutely.
To be on this show again, and we thank for all the viewers. Like, they are the reason why we just have this joy that this year is going to be a very nice one.
Yes, it's not that time where people say you want to start the year on a high and then you start the level of optimism start dropping. We don't want that kind of feel in 2019.
Absolutely.
You wanted to keep it high there.
Absolutely. Good to be on the show. Happy New Year to you, Babajide.
Happy New Year,
to
guys.
you, of course, to our esteemed listener, our viewers out there. Great to be here. 2019. So much promise to vote for us as for Nigerian sport and, of course, globally. And, of course, always great to be on the show, Babajide.
We want to dissect, we want to eat, we want to make merry, we want to be happy today on the show. So we want you to please sit back, relax, and enjoy what we've got for you. I will be right back after this break. It's the very first edition of 2019. Welcome. This is HotSports.
2019 is a year loaded with challenging engagements for Team Nigeria. Nigerian Under-20 side, the Flying Eagles have a mission to accomplish at the 15th edition of the CAF Under-20 Championship in Nigeria from February 2nd to 17th as they face the task of picking a ticket for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup bid for Poland in May. Also, the Under-17 side, the Golden Eaglets will be at the 13th edition of the CAF Under-17 Championship from April 14th to 28th in Tanzania, where they will also attempt to get one of the slots to the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Peru in October. The Super Eagles return to the summit of continental football at the 2019 African Cup of Nations in June after two earlier back-to-back failed attempts. And now to the Super Falcons, who are expected to improve on their performance on the world stage when they file out at the 2019 Women's World Cup in France, also coming up in June. In basketball, Nigeria will also be on the global podium as Nigeria's basketball men's team, the Tigers, became the first team to officially secure qualification for the 2019 FIFA Basketball World Cup in China from August 31st to September 15th. In athletics, a major test case for Team Nigeria in the new 2019 season will be the 17th edition of the IAAF World Athletics Championship, scheduled for Doha, Qatar, from September 28th to October 6th.
And we are back, and trust you enjoyed that. Okay, so let's just go right into it. Sports preview in Nigeria. Leia, we've got so many things to talk about in 2019, but let's start with the one that we've missed out from in recent times. The 15th edition of the Under-20 Championship will be staged at Niger. Starts from February 2nd to 17th. It's a good way to come back.
Absolutely, Babajide. Nigeria has won the title 7 times. We are the record champions in the African Youth Championship, which has produced so many Nigerian players that have played in the national team, likes of Taiwo, Jinobi Mikel. But of course, it's good to know that Paul Aibogun is the coach. I remember I watched them play the qualifying game, the last one against Mauritania, in which they qualified. Hopefully, the players will be good, and of course, they'll be charged, I beg your pardon, and hopefully, better preparations like we spoke about in 2018 will be given to all of these players so that we will be able to qualify for the World Cup and see another set of Nigerian players who could be looked upon when there is crisis in the national team.
Of course, there's a chance to book a ticket for the Under-20 World Cup that will be happening in Poland later in May. Still in the HKD competition, the 13th edition of the Under-17 Championship will be staged in Tanzania, and we're looking forward to that as well. The under-17 side would also be involved in that one. If at all they get through to the later stages, they will get a chance of getting through to the World Cup happening in Peru in 2019 in October. Well, you know, the Super Eagles of Nigeria returned back to the African scene. They've been out of the Nations Cup and back-to-back occasions. Yes, exactly. So it's a good feel. I mean, we saw the qualifications, and you have a feeling that if things go well, Super Eagles of Nigeria has a decent chance of winning the title.
No disrespect to anybody, but I think it's a very good opportunity for us because ideally, every competition Nigeria is playing in Africa, we are expected to win it. So I don't think we are going there to just count numbers or to just say we've missed it in a while, so we are back at it again. We are actually going there to win. This is what we are going there for. You know, 2019.
Here we come.
Yeah.
Here we come. Super Falcons have done well on the home front, but when they get over there, I mean over there, you know what I'm talking about, they tend to have a little bit of fright. Will this be any different in 2019 as they go to France?
Yeah, I think it should be any difference. They will be facing off with the host themselves, France, at the World Cup. I think Thomas Denorby, the coach, has so much on his sleeves in terms of preparation, in terms of being able to instill discipline and, of course, commitment in the Super Falcons players. You know, they've got players that could do the needful, but hopefully with the right set of, you know, preparation, we'll be able to do well at the world stage, because Nigeria has not actually stamped its feet when it comes to female football on the world team. But let's not forget, for Thomas Denorby, he's added good, you know, in terms of, you know, coaching the Swedish national team. They went as far as the semi-finals in 2011, so maybe Denorby could bring that worth of experience to influence the ladies of the Super Falcons to do well at the World Cup.
Oh, well, that was in June, but let's talk about August and September now. The Tigers, they became the first team to officially secure qualifications for the 2019 FIBA Basketball World Tournament in China, and this will be happening later in August and September. Chances for the Tigers, last time out, they were quarterfinalists, and you expect, it's just natural for us to expect that they may just want to get closer to the title.
Yeah, the team are being coached by Alex Nwora, I think, who has his son also doing very well, the young son, Nwora as well, Nwora Jr. I think the Tigers have got so much chance to do well in China. You know full well that Nigerian basketball players are spread across USA as well as some parts of Europe, and we expect knowing full well that they've done so well on the home front, though being challenged by Angola on the African scene. But going by the word of experience, these players have, you know, all over, and of course the team spirit they do always process when it comes together as a Nigerian team. I think that should work for them, and hopefully in China they should be able to do well. Knowing full well as well that there still some bit of quagmire as regards the administrative head in Nigeria, whether it's Musa Kinda or the other person. But of course, aside from that, I think the Musa Kinda-led faction, being known by FIBA, has been doing so well in terms of preparation of the teams that have played, you know, just like what happened last year where the Tigers did so very well in Spain, going as far as the quarterfinals. So we get to see how the Tiger will play off later in the year in China.
I think the administrators need to get their act together. You need to go and look, because if the way this country is,
you know, sorry to come in. I just remember that a lot of times in 2018, you know, whenever he's talking, say this is 2018.
Yes,
this should not. So now you can't be saying 2018 anymore. This is 2019.
Yeah, exactly. So this 2019, like you're talking about this, because I'm telling you, this is where we'll be. Someday you have flying cars, and Nigeria is still practicing 1950 administrative football.
Absolutely.
That's all sports administrative. That's what we'll be doing, because we need to really get our act together. You know. I said it to Leia when we had the last show in 2018. That 2019, I just hope sports doesn't get neglected, and that's my only prayer.
Of course, we know that 2019 is laden with sport activities, and we pray that the team Nigeria would hoist the flag of Nigeria properly as this particular events go by. We'll go for a quick break, and when we return, the first issue this year in 2019 will be discussed, or rather argued, by these gentlemen. Okay, beautiful people, you're welcome to Inside Boxing on HotSports, and I've got my usual boxing pundit here, Bola Story Waloyene. How you doing, man? Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Happy New Year, by the way.
Same
Happy
to
New
you.
Year. You believe in resolutions? I asked the guys earlier, do you believe in resolutions?
No.
You don't? Why?
Because I feel
They
like,
never come through?
not really. I feel like resolutions are just a way to procrastinate. Like, why not start now if you're going to change something?
So let's start now. Let's start by talking some beautiful boxing. And the calendar starts quite early in boxing because in January 19, but before we even go into our 2019 fight, your pick of the pack for 2018, I remember you were telling me that it was Canelo.
Yes,
And interestingly, Canelo will also be in a probable fight that would happen,
Yes.
this year. Let's talk about what will happen before we talk about what could happen. What would happen is the fact that on 19th January, the WBA regular welterweight title will be fought for between Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Broner. How do you want to call this?
I feel this is most likely going to be a decision win for Manny Pacquiao. Ever since he lost to Mayweather, he's kind of had a career resurgence. He won the title against Lucas Metisi by knocking him out. And Adrian Broner, who before, people used to call him Mayweather's protege because he fights like Mayweather to a very certain degree. And him and Mayweather also have a very close relationship. He's a 4th division champion, funny enough. I just want to put that out because he's fighting in his 5th division now. And unfortunately, he has struggled a lot. He was undefeated before he came to the welterweight division, which is the division they're fighting for the belt, for Manny Pacquiao's WBA belt now. And he lost against Maidana. He lost against Sean Porter. He lost against Mikey Garcia, who actually was coming up from weight as well, and he had a split decision win over Adrian Granados.
He's been struggling.
He's been struggling a lot, so I don't see him changing that against Manny
But
Pacquiao.
then again, you're saying it could be a decision result. Don't you see a knockout coming off anywhere?
I don't think so because he's
got conditioning, great conditioning.
He's got great conditioning. He's got a very good chin. He fought Marcos Maidana, who's everyone knows is a massive puncher. He got knocked down twice, but he still pulled the win away. And he hasn't shown. He's shown to be able to, how do you say, lose gracefully. So I feel like, and Manny Pacquiao hasn't shown the power he's shown in his younger years. And I feel like even if he gets hurt, I feel like he'll be able to compose himself. The new division seems to be a big problem for Adrian Broner. Big problem.
Okay.
Even funny enough, that's his nickname.
All right, so while Adrian Broner's nickname happens to be the problem, a man that has a good and bad problem at this time has to be the next bout that's happening on the 16th day of March in 2019. I'm talking about Errol Spence Jr., who would lace his gloves against Mikey Garcia, a 4th division champion. Errol Spence, Bola, is quite interesting. Somebody can be too good.
Yes, absolutely so. And I feel like that's the problem that Errol Spence has. That's the problem that Mayweather also had in the past, and to the sense that you are so good that people start to doubt the caliber of your opponents. But I feel like Errol Spence's problem is that no one wants to fight him.
We saw him, he actually fought recently, and he's a 1 division champion.
He's a 1 division champion.
And then we discovered that even the guy he took the belt from, probably retained it from, was actually a little bit cut aback. He doesn't want to fight him in a way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's that point where it's, when you're
what makes
young,
him so different? What does he bring to the table, really?
His fundamentals are excellent. He's a southpaw and he's got a lot of power. The guy who he collected the belt from, Kell Brook, he actually broke his eye socket. His fundamentals are excellent.
I don't want my eye sockets being broken, really. But let's talk about some probable fights that could set 2019 alive.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel if something should end in a draw, we deserve to see a repeat.
Yes.
So that's Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Part 2.
Yeah.
You thinking that could happen?
I feel like it's very likely to happen because, like you said, if it ends in a draw and there's no winner, then it might as well not have happened. So why not run it back for the fans? I run it back to show who is actually the better boxer. So
let's remove our magic box or something. Which you think would win if I thought there's a repeat of this?
I honestly believe that's Tyson Fury's fight to win all day long. Or 10 times out of 10.
So let's look at another probable fight this time around. It's now the winner. A lot of people are saying they want to see, it was an internal conversation. Yeah. Will we or will we not see Anthony Joshua take to the ring against Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury? Now, there's a probability that this could happen in 2019.
Yeah. I feel like in 2019, at this point, it's Joshua has to fight one of them. Unless both of them retire, he has to fight one of them because one of the talking points was that his camp and Wilder's camp could not come to an agreement. And then Tyson Fury came and he's fought Wilder now. So that excuse kind of almost seems flimsy. So I feel like it's something that has to happen. I feel like he also has the confidence. And with Joshua, I don't feel like Joshua is scared to fight them. I feel like his manager doesn't really want him fighting them because right now Joshua is bringing in so much money. And if he loses some of that star power. That also means he loses some of that money. But I feel like at this point, it's going to happen.
All right, you'll be watching Inside Boxing on HotSport here. Of course, we've got Bola Tito, Rilwan Oyenei, the boxing pundit in the house. But before we go, Bola, Canelo Saul Alvarez, he was your man in 2018. You clearly said he was the best boxer in 2018. Now, he's going to be facing, he could, in a probable fight, be facing Daniel Jacobs, who is these days the miracle man. You think Jacobs can actually pull another miracle over Saul?
Yes, I believe it's possible. And a little bit of backstory. The reason why he's called the miracle man is because he had cancer. He had a form of bone cancer in 2011. And a lot of doctors said he'd never walk again. But now he's a two-time middleweight champion. And he's the kind of fighter that gives people like Canelo problems because he's very big for the middleweight division. And his boxing is very good. He's very slick, and he can fight in both stances equally well. And he tends to do that a lot of the time. And even ESPN says that this is the next guy for Canelo to fight. So I feel like it'd be very interesting to see how they match up well with each other. And it's a pick-em fight. It's hard to choose between the both of them.
All right, it's been phenomenal as usual talking boxing with you, Bolaji. So we'll do this sometime very, very soon.
Thank you very much for having me.
And Happy New Year.
Same to you.
All right, so what's your wish for the new year? You want something? A new car, a new house, a new TV set, a new sneakers? You like sneakers. A new watch? What's your New Year dream?
I don't know.
You want to buy a new state?
Maybe.
All right, guys, we hope that you've thoroughly enjoyed Inside Boxing here on HotSports. If you've done, please do well to join us again on HotSports, even as the show continues. Stick around. Well, our topic for the first edition of HotSports in 2019 is, should the CAF Player of the Year award taking place next week in Senegal go to Sadio Mane or Mohamed Salah? Both of them play for Liverpool. Both of them know each other well. The gentlemen will be right back with their thesis right after this break. And we are back. Let's just go right into it. Alea, your thesis statement.
For Sadio Mane, you'll be winning the African Footballer of the Year. Knowing forward that you'll be in front of the home crowd in Senegal. And then again, it had a fantastic year with Liverpool and, of course, at the FIFA World Cup. So we'll get to see all of this will unfold.
For me, it's got to be Salah. For him, too, it's meant to be Salah. For you, too, it's meant to be Salah. Because I don't know why we are having this. So my statement just says Salah is the undisputed winner of being the best African player.
And we are back. It's the very first argument in year 2019 for HotSports, and we thank you very much. The question is, the forthcoming CAF Awards happening next week, Tuesday. Who should be the rightful winner? Should it be Mane or Salah? Olale, let me start with you.
Why are you starting with Lea?
I think it should be Sadio Mane. Going by the last season, he's played about 29 games for Liverpool. Competition, scored 10 goals, and of course, forward that he had 7 assists. And going to the FIFA World Cup, he played in all 3 games for the Triangle Lions of Senegal to the FIFA World Cup in Russia, scoring a goal. Though they couldn't go past the group stage based on the fact that they had issues.
Are you smiling because he's smiling at you? I can't see Aino's face, but I can see you smile, and I want to smile at you.
Is trying to
intimidate you.
Absolutely.
No, really. What he said is funny because he mentioned goals. Salah played 33 games, scored 31 goals. And you're calling Sané that scored how many goals?
Final 3, and why he has a chance to win the African Footballer of the Year.
Then
again,
okay, I like that. Why he has a chance?
He would win because going by the few African Footballer of the Year awards we've seen, a couple of the players have won in front of the home crowd, really. So this might not be an exception.
This one now.
But really, so the money has done fantastically well for himself.
Is it the same season we're talking about Liverpool getting to the Champions League final that Ramos broke Salah's hand and the whole world wanted to eat Ramos?
We knew how Salah Mane was very.
Practically what nobody knew about Mane in that final.
Mane
Nobody
did
knew
the
about
needful
it.
when
But
Salah went off.
who was crying? Who was crying when Salah got injured? Even fans that were not Liverpool fans. First of all, that's not even because the face that Salah is undisputed, man. This guy got nominated for being the top 3 in the world. Best player in the world. That means when you talk about South America, Europe, Africa, this Africa that is saying that Mane should win. This guy got top 3 after Modric and
But of course,
Ronaldo.
but for Sadio Mane, he has a chance to win, and he would win because
African player that got there. That was Samuel Eto'o. That was the last African player to have got that kind of nomination. You should know the class of level that is. That Salah gets. And you're saying Mane, you said Mane assisted. Salah in Champions League had 11 goals and 5 assists in 13 games last Champions League. Salah in fact, Salah was
But before we go on with these stats, but Lay actually made a very good point. Most of the time, or sometimes,
this is not
when
about
there's a
home,
winning,
this is
there's
not
a
about
lot
home
of
crowd.
Okay.
This is not about home crowd.
But
This is a
let's not
player
forget,
that was competing with Lionel Messi for the Golden Boot.
Babajide Guerrero.
Yes,
Let's also forget that when it comes to this aspect of winning the African Footballer of the Year, votes are actually pivotal.
That's the
votes
thing, yes,
from
votes,
national team
Coaches.
as well as captains. So we might be saying this.
See,
we might be saying this from the aspect
Let me even tell you the
of
funny
pundits.
No, this
based
is not
on,
for me.
but of course,
If Mane
has done incredibly well. That is why going by the last FIFA Ballon d'Or, and of course all other competition. Who have ever thought that a certain what is his name?
Luka Modric would have won
because
all of there was a reason.
There could be a reason as well for Sadio Mane.
There's no reason for Sadio Mane from Liverpool perspective. There's no reason from Senegal perspective. Even Sadio Mane, if he was meant to vote, he would vote for Salah as the best player.
But one of the things, but we have to understand in context of where we are. If it's a World Footballer of the Year award, we would say the FIFA World Cup is a key thing. But there is no Nations Cup, so what we'll probably just use is the same FIFA World Cup.
So
on the basis of the FIFA World Cup,
for them they use it form internationally. It's Africa's problem because these are nothing Africa needs to really understand. What the South Americans do is that they try as much to make a player that plays in South America among the top players there. But we don't do it in Africa yet. So we are going to use Salah's
segment for African players.
But it's wrong. It's actually wrong. Let's leave that for another. Let's leave that show for another day. Because you're talking about African best player. You're not talking about African best player playing internationally. This is African best player. There's nothing about. I don't know why you're not trying to give another award for a player playing here. Because if you are doing European best player, you're not saying European best player that plays in Europe. You're not doing that. So let's leave that aside. For Salah's form that season was very, very, very amazing. It was disastrous. It was a monster on board. Salah was very good.
Also with
how many goals? More than 40 goals. I'm not sure Mane. How many goals did Mane get? But you can't compare. Who was the best player in Liverpool?
And that's why he has a chance.
When Mane was playing, Salah won every single thing over Mane in Liverpool, which Africa is going to use to give them that award. Salah was a better player than Mane in Liverpool. So how come are you not going to say Mane is going to win it over Salah because of what?
Gentlemen, so the gentlemen have laid their thoughts, but what exactly is your thoughts? How about you tell us? But we know for a fact that come next week, Tuesday, we'll find out just who wins this particular gong. All right, so moving on, we'll go for a quick break, and then when we return, it's time for the final whistle. This is HotSports. And finally on the show, it's time for the final whistle, the first final whistle in the year 2019. And I have to clearly swing to this side of, because I feel that Salah was phenomenal on that year under review. And slightly swing to Leia because sometimes the judges who happen to be the national team coaches and team captains could have another side of things. You just never know. I mean, who thought that Luka Modric would win the particular gongs he picked up in 2018? Anything is possible. This is football. We thank you very much for joining us on HotSports, the very first edition in the year 2019. And boy, oh boy, we're looking so forward to what 2019 would bring for you and your loved ones. Guys, before we go out of the studio, so let's just ask you, Leia, do you believe in New Year resolutions?
Absolutely, I do.
Which one have you made? Yes, when you're praying.
Well, I made so many New Year resolutions.
Which one do you want to share with us?
Well, to be a good person.
You were a bad person before.
To be better off this year. Yeah.
Better
and to achieve my dreams.
Absolutely. Your New Year resolution. Do you believe in that? You don't look like someone who believes in all those things.
I just believe it. I just, year in, year out, I just keep up with the hustle. That was my
keep up with the hustle. Yeah, the minor. All right. So, guys, let's just go with this particular flow. One has a belief for resolutions, which is good. positive vibes, bad energy, stay very, very far away in 2019. Congratulations to us for making it to the new year. Big ones for you for watching and sticking with HotSports over the years, and we thank you. My name is Babajide Guerrero, and I will see you next week Saturday when we come your way again. Bye for now.